When you're in your basement, you should be looking for things we call signs of water, things that tell you water's there, although you're not seeing the water. Mold, mildew, peeling paint, dark spots, white powder, anything that tells you there's a water or dampness issue. It's more difficult when the basement's finished, obviously. So I would start in an unfinished area, somewhere where you can see the wall, see the floor. Maybe that's a laundry room or storage closet or something like that. Because the problems that happen in a finished area obviously happen in an unfinished area as well.
Welcome back. This is Hire It Done. My name's Adam Helfman. Great Saturday morning. Got Jeff Schleining from EverDry of Michigan in studio. Welcome back, Jeff.
Good morning.
So it rained this morning, Jeff. We've had a really rainy year.
We have.
Do you track the inches? Did you ever do any of that tracking or any of that stuff?
I used to track it more so in the past, but it is what it is. You know, as you get older, you just realize you can't mess with what you can't control, right?
You cannot. That's the truth. So homeowners know it rained last night. And they're listening to this and they're like, okay, maybe I do have water problems. Maybe I don't. Let's walk everyone through right now what homeowners can do to see if they have water issues in their basement before they call a professional.
Well, what I would like to say is we want to see if they have moisture issues. All right, because you don't need to have water to have a problem. Water's kind of the last thing that comes in. So look for what we call signs of water, signs that tell us moisture's there. Obviously, you mentioned an odor. Take a big, deep breath. You want to do that again? There you go. Take it. If you smell something, it means something's happening. But look for dark spots on the walls, white powder, stains, mold, mildew, peeling paint, lifting floor tile, dark wood, dry rot.
What's white powder? That's the efflorescence, right?
Efflorescence, yeah.
What is that, a chemical reaction from the concrete,
yes,
brick?
Exactly. It just, it's the lime kind of extracting out or leaching out.
But it only leaches out if there's water.
Correct.
Okay, so that means there is. So what about like if you have basement windows that are leaking? That can make it worse as well.
Oh, absolutely. Any moisture or water.
What happens when I see water at you got the basement wall. Sometimes it's a block wall, sometimes it's a port wall. You got the concrete floor. Where the basement wall hits the concrete floor, that junction, sometimes water leaks through there. Is that a wall leak or a floor leak?
How do you know? It's like a thermos. How do you know whether to be hot or cold, right?
Yeah.
It's the cove. It's the seam. It's
the seam, right?
It's both. How about that?
Don't you have
31 years,
vision?
I've never been asked that question.
Seriously?
Yeah. Is it a wall or a floor problem? It's both, I would imagine.
Well, because you don't know.
Water takes the path of least resistance.
That's why we have a Grand Canyon.
That's okay. The footer's poured first. The wall's poured second.
Yep.
The floor's poured third. Concrete to concrete doesn't bond. All right. So that's a natural weak spot.
Concrete to concrete doesn't bond. That's a prolific statement.
Well, it doesn't.
It's true. Wow. The light bulb just went on because that's the thing. Homeowners. Concrete doesn't bond. The floor, the wall, the footing. Three separate areas.
When you have the highway and you get a pothole, they don't fill it with concrete because it doesn't stick. It'll just pop right out like a ice cube out of an ice
saw cut the whole thing and they put, okay.
Yeah, right. So concrete to concrete doesn't bond. So where the wall, footer, and floor meet is the weakest point of the foundation. So water takes a path of least resistance.
And it comes right there.
There you go.
Oh, boy. Now I get it. So so now the homeowner's like, oh, boy, I can see water. It's coming through. Houston, we got a problem. So now they call EverDry. 866-EverDry is the number.
Yes, sir.
Easily. What kind of information when they call do you get on the phone from the homeowner?
We just want to get, the inspection we provide is very detailed and it's free. I like to throw out free. Free is a great price. What we do is we just take name, address, phone number, get a little background on what's going on in the basement to make sure it's really a basement problem and not something else. And then we schedule an appointment that's convenient for the homeowners, and we come out and we provide this evaluation, this inspection. And it's not just, real quick look at the walls and the floor. I mean, we're doing an air monitor test. We can do a mold test if there's something that, is suspicious and they want to know. We print out a detailed report with information. So
it's comprehensive.
It is.
And that's important. So people don't know you're just going, okay, I can see you need this or that. You really do check it all out. Which makes sense.
Yes.
So should a homeowner budget, an hour and a half for the first meeting?
It depends on it usually only needs a first meeting, but yeah, hour and a half would be good. Some homeowners are real detailed, want more information, then of course it would take longer. But, by the time we do the inspection inside, outside, print their report, sit down, go over everything, hour and a half's a good time.
Okay. And that's important for people to know because listen, you guys are coming out and doing a comprehensive inspection. It takes time. There's a lot of questions that are going to go back and forth. Homeowners are going to ask it, but you want to know from the homeowner stuff too.
Correct.
What kind of questions are you asking the homeowner?
When do they notice the problem? Is it in the spring? Is it in the fall? How long after it starts raining until the water actually makes it in? How long after the rain stops does it take for the water to stop? Is the water clear? Is it cloudy? Is there dirt? Is there mud? Are there bugs? I mean, there's a lot of questions that we ask.
So for everyone listening, this is why it's so important when you do have water issues that you call a professional. We have EverDry in studio. If you have a question, text us 97136. We'll get your questions, or you can always call EverDry 866 EverDry. It's an easy number.
We have someone in the office right now taking calls.
Perfect. And then the website
Is everdrymichigan.com.
EverDry Michigan. You have a Facebook page and all that.
We do.
Now there's a home show coming up October 11th. Are you going to be there?
We will.
Perfect. And by the way, friends, we're going to be giving away some home show tickets at the next segment. So don't forget to get ready to call in because we got a couple more pairs we can still give away. And it's we'll get ready for you. We'll throw the number out and all that. But so Jeff, that's a lot of questions you ask the homeowner because you have to gather the right information. And the reason I have to assume, and tell me if I'm right or wrong, you gather that information because every basement's different, and the plan that you put together for this homeowner over here is the plan for only this homeowner.
Correct.
Makes
it's
sense.
like going to a doctor. You know, doctor has to ask some questions, get an idea of what's going on. The challenge we have are homeowners that don't want to take the time. How much is it? Just tell me how much to fix it.
Right.
Well, you know, that's like walking in the doctor and saying, fix me, without the doctor knowing what's going on.
Let me ask you a scenario. I just thought of this the other day.
Don't say Huntington Woods.
No, yeah. What was that crazy lady's name?
I'm kidding.
You know,
I'm just trying to stir you up a little
right?
bit.
You just did. My Apple Watch just said heart rate went up. So the alert. Boy, you just threw me off. So,
Sorry.
anyways, that's how great is that? Anyways, home. Here it is. Open heart surgery.
Right.
If God forbid you knew someone had to have open heart surgery, and you went to the hospital and they're like, okay, well, you got this doctor. He just got out of medical school. He's only $20,000 to do your heart. But we got the 4th-generation leader, valve technology, you know, magical hands, you know, leader of the department, surgeon, ready to go. Who are you going to pick?
I would say don't make your decision with your wallet.
Correct.
Okay. You know, I would probably pick the guy with the experience.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I don't want Doogie Howser. I want the guy who's been doing it for 3 generations.
Well, you know, we have over 100,000 basements waterproofed.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So there's the experience is worth it. But you're not more expensive than everyone else. That's the best part about your company. I always get my finger on the pulse and I'm like, EverDry's never the most expensive, but you're never the cheapest. You always right in the middle. That's what people want.
Yeah, absolutely. And we do something that no one else does. It's unique.
It's proprietary.
And
so
it works.
What is your process? Like, let's say a homeowner, let's give the scenario. Concrete floor, poured wall, water's coming through the wall, and you also got it through in another wall through the joint.
Correct.
Wherever the meetings. So EverDry's like, yeah, you need a complete system. What does that look like?
The reason we might go down that road is, again, the water takes the path of least resistance. So if you have a wall that has a couple of rod holes and a couple of cracks, and that's where the water's coming in, and it's not coming in anywhere else, if I fix those rod holes and those cracks, the water is still there.
Correct.
So it's just going to find another spot. So then it'll find another rod hole, another crack, or come in at the seam. All right. So we get that, you know, I never had that problem until you fix this, which is why we suggest you fix the whole thing. All right. If you have a leak in a roof, you don't just fix the one spot, especially if the roof is 25 years old.
Correct. So you got to do it all.
You know, if you want a permanent solution, especially if they're planning on calling Steve to finish Basement Plus.
The last thing you want to do is do that.
Don't just fix the one spot.
Fix it all.
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely.
So doing the whole basement is good. Now, it also helps for resale value because if a homeowner wants to sell their house, your warranty is transferable, right?
It is.
And yours, how long is your warranty?
Life. We've been in business 31 years and we're still warrantying. I ran into someone at breakfast that said, you did my basement 20 years ago.
You're like, okay, great.
Yeah. Of course. How is it? It's fantastic. Yeah. I don't worry about that, though.
You don't have to because you take care of it.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's why you've been around so long.
No, that's what makes it perfect. And that's when I like that. So That's the best part about it. So basement waterproofing done properly needs to be designed and the prescription, I guess, written by a professional, and that's where you guys come in.
Yes, it is.
Now you waterproof from the outside, the inside, and you completely do it, like we said, the comprehensive way to do it.
Well, your basement consists of a wall and a floor. If I fix the wall, you can still have a problem with the floor. If I fix the floor, you can still have a problem with the wall. So if you are looking for peace of mind, you want that basement that's never going to have a problem again, so you can put that stuff down there that you want, you definitely got to take care of the whole thing, and that'll give you the peace of mind you need.
Which makes perfect sense. Text us if you have a question, 97136. We're going to take a quick break. One question that came in, we'll answer on that when we come back. Is EverDry able to work on basements that are finished? We'll answer that after a great break here. And don't forget, we're giving away home show tickets. When we come back, we'll give you the number. I'm Adam Helfman. You're listening to the Hire It Done Radio Network. Welcome back. This is Hire It Done. My name's Adam Helfman. Good morning to all my listeners. What's on your home improvement list this weekend? We're talking basement waterproofing. The best basement's the driest basement, right?
Absolutely.
Someone texted in, is EverDry able to work on basements that are finished?
Of course. I would estimate that more than 50% of the basements we work on are finished. And most people think it needs to be ripped out. It does not need to be ripped out to be waterproofed.
Oh, so you can do that.
We can, in most cases, and I mean most cases, we can save that finished basement.
Okay, so for everyone out there who's worried about that, and again, EverDry does a free estimate. Those will come out for free. They're not going to charge you.
Right.
Then you'll take a look at that.
We will.
Now, here's one. I used to be a fan of outside system waterproofing only. Why I have to ruin the inside? But then, as you and I started doing business, I started to learn the reality of it's not always possible.
You have to treat the wall and the floor separately. They're two different pieces, and they're affected two different ways.
Right, and that makes sense. So one of the questions that came in, can you waterproof without digging up the exterior?
Yes.
You can.
You can. There's, what do you call it, pros and cons with everything.
Sure.
We'll just make sure the homeowner recognizes what the cons are, because there are some.
Now, what about adding a French drain sometimes to a system? I think that's a good idea when you want to get the water away from the foundation.
Are you talking a French drain outside?
Yeah, an outside French drain.
Okay.
Is that something that's good as a supplement of a basement waterproofing?
We do that, yes.
So let's break down for a homeowner a full. Let's say the homeowner knows they need all walls waterproof, and they do a full system from EverDry. So EverDry, you dig on the outside of the foundation a couple feet down.
Right, and it's all hand dug.
So can you do it by hand?
We do it by hand, no heavy equipment, so we're not destroying the place. And what we're looking for are cracks in the foundation wall. A majority of the time, the cracks start at the top. They work their way down.
Always.
So when we dig up by hand, that first 1.5 feet, 2 feet or so, we clean the wall off and we look for cracks. And then we identify those cracks. We excavate those by hand. We repair them. And then we put in a drainage system that's closer to the surface.
On the outside.
On the outside to capture the water as soon as it hits the ground.
That's smart. Now, you go to the inside of the basement.
Correct.
And that's where the wall hits the floor. That's where you break up.
We open up.
Open up.
We don't break anything.
Okay, see, I'm learning terminology. You open up the floor.
We open the floor. We want to inspect the footing first. We want to make sure there's no cracks in the footing. We want to make sure there's no undermining or washout of the footing that could cause future structural issues.
Sure.
If there are, we'll repair those things. And then we put in a drainage system that goes to a what we call a pressure relief pump, which is has a lot of differences than a traditional sump pump. It actually reduces pressure or hydrostatic pressure under the floor.
And for everyone out there listening, hydrostatic pressure is the pressure of the water underneath the floor of the basin. When it rises, it pushes, and that pressure is there, and that's where the water squishes and comes around and starts leaking everywhere.
I like to say it this way. The water rises, hits the floor gets in the way, and then it creates pressure. So it'd be like pushing a beach ball into water. Mm-hmm. The beach ball wants to push back. Well, that's what happens with hydrostatic pressure.
Which makes sense. Are you going to be at the home show October 11th? We talked about it?
We will, yes.
Okay, for everyone out there listening, we have home show tickets to give away. How many tickets do we have to give away? Do you guys have any idea? Paul, Sarah, or you guys? How many tickets we have to give away? 4 more? 3 more sets. 3 more sets. And each set has how many tickets? 4. Okay, so we have 3 sets of tickets. 4 tickets per set. Give us a call, 248-539-9797. We'll get your name and address.
Stop by our booth and pick up your "How Big Is Your Crack" free string bag that we'll be giving away.
How big is your crack? I like that. Lack. So now on the inside, you open up the floor, and then you get to the footing to make sure. Now, do you put a drain tile on the inside?
We do.
Is
Yes.
it like just a typical drain tile?
It is.
Okay.
Yes.
And then the water gets captured in that area, and that drain tile directs the water where?
To the pressure relief pump.
And the pressure relief pump is in a sump, or is it a?
It's a sump basin, but it's we perforate it depending on the soil conditions.
Right.
So when the water rises, that it will enter the basin from the bottom up
That's
instead
right.
of the top down.
So the perforated basin really is almost like what I'll call an industry, like a benchmark standard, like a quality standard for you guys, because that really releases that pressure.
Correct. It doesn't necessarily. Technically, we wouldn't even need the drain tile.
Right. But it's an added safety factor.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that. So then the water goes into the pump. Now, some pump failures, we always see it. Homeowners say, I didn't have coverage. Blah, blah, blah.
Nobody has covered.
Everyone should call their agent, insurance agent, and ask them for some pump coverage. It's like $100 a year or something like that. And it is something that you promise you need to have. Now, your sump pump, if the power goes out, you got people covered.
We put in a secondary pump. It's called a Smart Power. And the reason we call it a Smart Power, it's pretty cool. It's a battery. Technically, it's a battery backup.
Sure.
However, it knows whether or not the pump malfunctioned or the power's out. So if it's a pump malfunction, it's not going to draw off the battery and wear the battery down. It'll draw from the power of the house.
Right.
And then if it's a power outage, it'll draw from the battery. And when the power's restored, the battery will trickle charge itself back up.
Wow.
And if you have a finished basement and you have a sump pump and you don't have a backup, it's almost negligent.
Right. At this point, we need to know that power always goes out eventually, and the chance of the power going out with rain or high water table or something at one time is going to
But
completely.
it's more than a power outage because people say, "Oh, I have a generator." What are you going to do when that pump malfunctions? It's a mechanical part. It only has so much life.
I never thought of it that way.
And by the way, with us, we replace those for life for no additional charge.
That's the best part. You really, when you waterproof a basement, you waterproof a basement.
We do.
And legit. Here's a question that came in. Adam, I live in Sanilac County. I have a leak in the basement floor at the footing. It leaks pretty bad. It flows like a natural spring. It only takes a minute from when the rain starts to the basement to be wet. The longer the wet part of the season, the longer the basement stays wet. The home is nearly 100 years. Is this repairable? Ron.
Yes, Ron.
Ron,
give us
yes.
a call. Set an appointment. We'll send someone up to Sanilac. Take a look at it for you.
866 Everdry. That's the number.
Yep. Someone's
love that.
standing by right now.
I used to have 877 Hire It Done. No one called it. So I'm like, whatever. I still have it, though. I didn't want anyone else
It's
to get
good.
it.
It's a vanity number. It's good for trucks, billboards, things like that.
I just didn't want Angie, your home advisor, to get it.
Right.
So I have it because they do that kind of stuff.
They do.
Yeah, but they're not competitors, really. I'm more of a hybrid of that. But either way. So business is good. You can waterproof basements all year long, or do you?
We do sell, service, and install year round.
So like in the frozen weather, even though you dig by hand, you can still do it.
It's harder. Takes a little bit longer. We don't charge a dime more for it. And we do. That's how you keep good employees. We do not subcontract.
Right, everyone, your overhead's high. I know that.
All the guys work for us. So, by giving them employment year round, that's how you keep good employees.
Well, that's important. It's an awesome thing to do. And I'm glad that you do that. How long have you been in business again?
31 years.
96% of all contractors fail in the first 5 years.
31 years.
That's amazing. That's 3 decades.
It is. You telling me I'm old?
Well, listen, we're not young.
No. We've been together 10 plus.
At least. Yeah. And so you continue to knock it out of the park with customer satisfaction. And yours is not an easy business. There's a lot of scammers in the basement waterproofing business. I go to the home show just to see who's resurfaced.
They resurface with a different name.
Right?
Usually the same phone number, though.
But the same characters. The one guy with the pinky ring and the gold Rolex. I don't know his name.
I do, and I'm not going to say it.
We're not going to say it. But he shows up with a new company name every other year.
He does.
And I'm just like, how does that happen?
Well, the terrible part is that people actually do business with them and they end up getting hurt in the long run. I mean, I will tell you this. You talk about, different things you learn in your industry. I would say probably 40% of the homes we see have already been waterproof once.
Wow.
Okay, so we're going, whether it was waterproof paint or an actual system or one
Right.
wall.
Dry lock.
Yeah, right. I mean, somebody's already tried or paid money
Done it wrong.
and done it wrong. Correct. With us, you fix it once, you
One
fix
time
it
deal.
forever. Yeah.
Yeah. One bite, everyone knows the rules. That's what I say. So that's important. You know, there's other, listen, for everyone out there, there's other good waterproofing companies out there. It's just you're rolling the dice. At Hire It Done, we pre-screen them. We go out and see the work. We check the customer's references. We check all that so that you don't have to do all that homework. You've been with me for 10 years, Jeff,
It's a long time.
and we've had all happy homeowners.
Do the right thing and the right thing happens. This isn't,
Thank you.
the business is tough, but you know, being the best at the business is just do the right thing.
Right. And would you agree there's other good waterproofing companies out there?
Sure.
Yeah.
They do it a different way. The way we do it, we believe
No
in.
one does it the same way you do it.
No, nobody.
Yeah.
It's federally protected. It's
Yeah,
patented.
you have a patented system,
Right.
which makes sense. And that's why it's so unique. So if anyone wants to just get a free estimate or actually has water in their basement, go downstairs today and check it. Call 866-EVERDRY. Jeff, I want to thank you for coming on.
I appreciate it. Always a good
pleasure,
time.
Right?
Yeah.
Is Michigan going to beat Rutgers today?
They better.
I'm taking Rutgers in the points.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. Why not?
How much?
100.
All right.
Deal. Thanks for coming on. I'm Adam Helfman. You're listening to the Hire It Done Radio Network.